Episode of the Diz Explorers podcast, where every episode we explore different avenues of all the different Disney offerings that they have, from parks to cruises to movies to home decor to clothes to toys. Well, not really. We haven't done toys yet, but idea for another episode. So this week, we're going to feature our star cruising aficionado, Miss Melanie, and she's going to just give us some information about the different dinings on the cruises. I know we've touched on it on different episodes here and there, but she's going to kind of give us a rundown of how rotational dining works, the dress codes that are for regular dining, and then for the more formal dinners that they do offer on the Disney Cruise Lines, and what the deal is with all of that. So, take it away, Mel.
Sure, I'll just jump right on into it. It does come up from time to time on message boards and on the blog. What do I pack? How does dining work? What do I need to wear for dinner? It can be confusing for a first-time cruiser, but I know so many of you guys are Walt Disney World travelers, and let me tell you, if you have mastered the Disney dining plan at Walt Disney World, you can do this.
You could do anything.
Compared to dining at Walt Disney World, dining on Disney Cruise Line is ridiculously easy. It's so simple. There are 3 main dining rooms. How many restaurants between quick service and table service are there at Walt Disney World?
Oh,
I'm going to go with 222,000.
Yeah.
It's very overwhelming. On Disney Cruise Line, for dinner time, there are 3 main dining rooms. 3. That you have more options than that, but as far as rotational dining, you have the 3 main dining rooms that you and your family are going to spend. And you'll go to those each evening for dinner time. Your rotation is assigned to you, so the where am I going to dine tonight is already predetermined for you. So on a 3-night cruise, you'll dine in one of the 3 main dining rooms each night. If you're on a 4-night cruise, then you'll go to each dining room once, and then you'll repeat one of them. So we'll stretch that out for a 7-night cruise. All 3 dining rooms you will eat in twice, and then you'll have a 3-peater, like what we like to call it. Which restaurant or which dining room will we be 3-peating in? So that's what rotational dining is. You just rotate between the 3 main dining rooms, and one of the great aspects of rotational dining is that your service team, your head servers, your servers, and your assistant servers rotate with you. So whoever was serving you on your first night will be with you on your second night and your third night, and so on, which I absolutely love because they get to know you. They get to know your preferences. They get to know that I really need to have that Diet Coke waiting for me when I come sit down because I'm usually running around having a good time, and I'm pretty thirsty by the time I get into the dining room. So I love to see that drink waiting for me before I even get there. And the servers on Disney Cruise Line are amazing, and they really do take the time to get to know you and know what you and your family need to make that dining experience a good one. But in addition to those main dining rooms, there's cabanas, which is a buffet during the day, and a table service restaurant at night. So if for any reason your main dining room isn't going to work for you, you do have other options. And there is, of course, poolside dining, which I like to kind of compare to quick service dining at Walt Disney World, where you just go on up and grab your food from the service counters, and then you can go to one of the poolside tables or lounge chairs and have your meal there. Now, one of the great things about Disney Cruise Line is all of that dining I just talked about, that is already included in the price of your fare. So it's not like you're going to be looking at menus and seeing any prices for anything for any of the food items at any of the main dining rooms or cabanas or on poolside service. That's not to say everything edible on board is free. It's not. There are some menu items that do incur a charge, but anything you need for survival and then some is already included in the price of your Disney Cruise Line fare. And one of the things that trips people up is, okay, so I know I have a main dining room to go to each night. What do I need to wear? Because Disney Cruise Line throws out words like cruise casual and optional dress up and pirate night. And unless you've cruised before, you really don't know what cruise casual means. And that's okay. That's just fine. So on DCLPrepSchool.com, I have a blog post entitled 5 Ways to Dress for Dinner on a Disney Cruise. And I break it down very simply. What does cruise casual mean? What does optional dress up mean? And so on. So cruise casual, I like to liken that as my default setting. Cruise casual is your bare minimum dress code. And it's an easy dress code. Basically, there's nothing special you need to do to dress in cruise casual. Cruise casual, t-shirts are fine. Jeans, shorts, flip-flops. Really the only 2 forbidden items, just 2 forbidden items really for cruise casual are tank tops, no tank tops, and no swimwear, meaning no swim trunks, no swimsuits, no cover-ups, things like that. So regular clothes are absolutely fine. You don't have to do anything special for a cruise casual dress code. Again, just no flip-flops. No tank tops and no swimwear. And I think that's just kind of common sense. I don't really think that anybody should have a problem with cruise casual. Now, one of my favorite nights is what's called optional dress up. Now, on optional dress up, it means you have the option of dressing up. You don't have to. You used to have to. Now you don't. In fact, cruise casual, again, is the default for that night, meaning your minimum dress code is cruise casual, but a lot of people do take that opportunity to dress up. I liken it to kind of a Sunday best dress code. So for my guys, it means dress pants and an Oxford, just a simple button-up collared shirt. And for the girls, usually a nice little dress or something of the sort. You could have dress pants and a nice blouse. And one thing about optional dress up night, you will see some people in tuxedos and gowns. You certainly do see that. But you'll see just as many people not dressing up at all. And this is my soapbox moment. I've warned the troopers that my soapbox moment was coming, and here it is. Mm-hmm. Come on, people. There are so few opportunities for kids to really dress up and experience what full service formal dining is. And Disney does full service in a family friendly way because all of the dining experiences in the main dining rooms are a full service event. And to dress up, and you're in these beautiful, beautiful dining rooms, and to dress up just makes sense. I mean, you're in such a lovely atmosphere that is created for your family. I mean, when you go to a nice restaurant, a Land, they're not really family friendly. They're adults only affairs, and sometimes they can be kind of stuffy, but Disney gives you the opportunity to really dress up and have a great night with your family. So I always do like to teach my kids to dress for the situation, and optional dress up night really fits the bill. And it also teaches them that, hey, a nice pair of pants and an Oxford aren't really all that uncomfortable after all. It's just a cotton shirt with buttons. Really. And so optional dress up night is a good night for that. If you were on a 7-night cruise or longer, you'll also have a semi-formal night. For semi-formal, it's really just polos and khakis for the guys and a sundress for the girls. Or, even I've been known to just wear the same thing on both nights. And what I always tell people who ask me about dressing up for formal night is I say, take that as a great opportunity to get a family picture taken. There will be photographers all around the atrium during the dinner time hours, and they will take your photo. Even if you don't pre-purchase the photo package that Disney Cruise Line offers, you can get an 8x10 print for about $21, $22. I challenge anyone to get a family portrait made on land for $22. It is the best bargain at sea.
It's impossible.
Owen Mills charges twice that.
And that's just for the sitting fee.
Yeah.
So, I always say this is perfect time to get that Christmas card shot, to get that family portrait, because you're not going to have an opportunity like that again. And dinner's only a couple hours. Dress up, y'all. Get into the spirit. Now, this next dress code, shall we say, specifically created with our favorite pirate trooper RJ in mind. Pirate Night.
Woohoo!
I will admit to being a bit unprepared for Pirate Night on my first cruise. I didn't realize how seriously people took Pirate Night. I thought, hey, maybe an eye patch and a bandana and I'm good.
What?
Nah.
Slacker.
I know it. Oh my goodness. People get in full pirate regalia for Pirate Night. And I'm talking adults, y'all.
Yeah.
Adults are getting into Pirate Night. It is so much fun. But
How often do you get a chance to do that either?
At least once a month. Oh, then.
Okay, typical people.
Regular folk.
Non-RJ people.
But yes, so there are ways to kind of mix it up where you don't really have to be in full pirate outfits. There are skull and crossbones t-shirts. My teenager has a Goonies t-shirt. If you remember from the 80s movie, the Goonies, has the skull and crossbones thing, that map thing.
Mm-hmm.
So he has a Goonies t-shirt, and I've seen people dress up as characters from Peter Pan, like they're Wendy and the Darling Children, and they're Lost Boys. So, even pirate adjacent characters are good to go. And one of the great things about Pirate Night on Disney Cruise Line, it's not just about the fireworks or the late night buffet, but all of the characters get into pirate costumes too. So Chip and Dale are in pirate costumes. Captain Mickey is Pirate Captain Mickey. And of course, everyone's favorite captain, Jack Sparrow, is about to be dressed for the occasion.
Absolutely.
Again, cruise casual if you must, but hey, cruise casual with a pirate theme, I like it.
That's winning right there.
That is winning. Now, there are two other special places on Disney Cruise Line where cruise casual will not cut it. And that is Palo and Remy. All four ships have an adults-only dining experience in Palo on the Disney Fantasy. They also have Remy. Now, Palo and Remy are for adults only, 18 and up. And Palo is Northern Italian-themed cuisine. They have a brunch and a dinner. And Remy's got brunch now too, right? On Sea Days? I believe. On Sea Days, Remy has brunch.
Yes.
I don't know.
So, it didn't always. It did not always.
They just started that like a year ago.
Right.
A year and a half ago.
I'll be on the Dream this summer, and I'm definitely going to have to try out that. But for Palo, you do have to dress for that. Collared shirts for men with pants or slacks. For the ladies, definitely a dress or skirt or dress pants. Now, Palo has recently relaxed its dress code, and you can actually wear jeans there as long as they're in good shape, like no holes, no fraying, no super baggy, where they look, no paints on the jeans, none of that. So as long as they're in good shape, then you're good with jeans at Palo. Now, for Remy is a French cuisine adults only establishment. So the dress code is kicked up another notch. Where men, for dinner time, you do have to wear a jacket.
And a beret.
You do not need to wear a beret. Maybe a pirate hat. I think pirate hat. Definitely a pirate hat. Ladies, cocktail dresses or dresses. You can wear pantsuits, but absolutely no jeans at dinner time in Remy. For brunch or the dessert services, men do not need a jacket for brunch or dessert service, but no jeans, no shorts, no flip-flops at either Remy or Palo. No capris for the ladies, no tennis shoes. Please, it's dress shoes, dress sandals, things of that nature. So Remy and Palo, they are not included in the main dining rotation since they are adults only signature dining. You will be paying for your meals at both Remy and Palo, but oh my goodness, they are so worth it.
It's worth it.
And you think you're getting full service in the main dining rooms, and you are. Your server and your assistant server are nothing but attentive, and even my kids had to learn how to deal with the interactions with the full service dining. But full service, take that up 2 or 3 notches. That's Remy and Palo. The dining and the attention to detail is just amazing. Even if you don't dine there, I definitely recommend going and taking a look around the dining rooms during some of the off hours and taking a look at the art and taking a look at the decor and the attention to detail. Just even in the place settings themselves, the spaces are beautiful. Definitely worth taking a tour of the areas, even if you're not dining there, but I highly recommend dining there. So in poolside dining, obviously, that's the one place where, you know what, bathing suits are perfect. So if you are not into dressing up for anything whatsoever, poolside dining to the rescue, or room service for that matter. Room service to the rescue. So lots and lots of dining options on Disney Cruise Line.
Cool. There was a few things you had said as you were going on. I was remembering from the one time I was on it. It's been a long time. It was 2002 was the only Disney cruise I've been on the.
Things have changed. They
on the
trend
Wonder.
more. Yeah, they're trending towards more casual.
That's what I was going to ask you, because I remember you said they don't call it a captain's dinner anymore, but I want to say that they referred to it as the captain's dinner, and I believe it was on we did a 7-night Western. And
They did. Other cruise lines still call it the captain's dinner.
Yeah.
Disney now just calls it optional dress up.
Yeah, I mean, if you weren't in pretty much formal wear, you couldn't go to the dinner. So,
And we're not talking Sunday best. We're talking formal wear.
Yeah, like I had a suit.
Party, prom kind of thing.
Yeah, no, I had a suit. My wife had a nice dress, and we did go to Palo as well. But I feel like that one I didn't have to wear the jacket. Where at the captain's dinner I was suit, tie, and the whole 9 yards, which is funny enough as it is to have me in
with
one of those
this
things.
trend of people wearing pajamas in public, and
right. Well,
watching what people wear on airplanes these days, I'm like,
it's
I just have
ridiculous.
to. My kids know how I feel about all of that.
It's like,
So you're totally against the late night adult pool party pajama party.
No, I'm fine with that, but just keep it.
Okay.
Keep it outside at the pool party. No, it's just funny because I remember the people that we were seated with at the table it was another family. It was a husband and wife, and they had one teenage son, and they didn't come to the formal dinner. And then it was two girlfriends that were teachers were at our table with us too. And I want to say they came to the formal thing, but I can't remember for sure. I think my wife and I were the only ones at our table that came to the formal dinner. But back to what you were saying about the pictures, besides the fact that you get these fantastic pictures because they have the photographers, and I don't know what the prices are today for these packages, but I want to say our package for the week was like $100, and it was whatever pictures they took of anything on the whole entire ship.
Right.
And I tell you, just for that night, it was worth it because we got a ton of pictures taken, and Mickey was out like in his captain's thing to take pictures of.
Right. And you'll get Mademoiselle Mickey or Minnie. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah. Everybody gets in on the fun.
And then we had pictures with the captain we got. So, I mean, it was, once in a lifetime experience for us. I don't know. The next time we'll get on a cruise with 3 kids, I'll probably be 60 years old. But
Right.
you know, to what you said, it's definitely worth the price for the pictures, for definitely getting the package. I would think. I'm
right
sure
now,
prices have
from between
increased.
2002 to now, if you're on a 7-night cruise, if you get the all digital package where you get a USB thumb drive,
Yeah.
the all digital package for a 7-night cruise is now $250.
Wow.
For a 3-night cruise, it's almost
totally worth it.
$100.
But
It is.
See-
It is very worth it. If you get the digital and the print packages, where you get the prints as well as the thumb drive, for a 7-night cruise, that's $350, and for a 3-night cruise, that's about $270. So they do price it by how many nights you're going to be sailing. So obviously, you know, the longer the cruise, the more
Right.
photo opportunities you're going to have. And so it's a sliding scale between the 3-night cruise, and it goes on up. So if you get the digital package, which is the one I recommend, it's $250 for that 7-night. But if you pre-purchase it, then you get 15% off of that.
oh wow,
And
nice.
if by the last night of your cruise, but it has to be before the last night, you feel like I've just not used this service, like at all, like you just decided to hang out and schlep over by the pool deck and not even bother with character meet and greets or pictures, you can go up to the photo service desk and say, hey, it's called Shutters. I believe it's on deck 4 on all 4 ships. I say, we've just not taken any pictures, and they will refund you your money. You will not get that USB drive. And so there's no risk involved in pre-purchasing it. And you might just be surprised. But yeah, definitely take advantage of those photo packages for, you know, family portraits. They're also, if you're on the Dreamer Fantasy, much like at Walt Disney World, when you get attraction photos, there is actually a camera on the aqueduct.
Oh, nice.
And I know. I didn't even know it was there until my husband and I and some friends we were cruising with, we went into Shutters to take a look at the pictures that we had accumulated in our digital file. And there were about 20 pictures of our daughter and our friend's daughter on the aqueduct. And they had figured out where the flash was.
Perfect.
It began posing for it.
Nice.
We had some of the best pictures. We laughed so hard. So yes, definitely the photo packages are worth looking into. And you know, Pirate Night, when you're all dressed up for Pirate Night, great photo opportunities with Jack Sparrow, with all of the characters in their pirate gear. On Dress Up Night, all the characters get into the spirit as well. So those are, you know, great opportunities to dress up and get some great pictures. And like I said, I challenge you to find a photographer or a photo studio on land with these prices. I mean, it is the only bargain to be had.
Yeah,
on
no, for
Disney
real.
Cruise Line. Trust me, the fare is no bargain, but the photo packages, I believe, for what you're getting, and you know, the fact that it is a vacation photo service, and those tend to be very pricey anyway, well worth it.
Yeah.
And I'm more of a fan of the digital. I usually don't do the prints unless I buy a specific print, and then I just buy the one a la carte. I rarely get the printed photos from the ship. But sometimes I've been known to want them, or you know, they're great gifts. So like if you're traveling with somebody and you're giving them a departing gift, I like that. But yeah, so using Shutters on board, I've got another blog post over on DCL Prep School all about photo packages. Super simple and a great way to have. It's one of my best souvenirs. You never regret getting a photo souvenir.
No, definitely not. I'm going to sound like the back in my day guy, but back in my day when I went on the cruise, I mean, they didn't offer the digital package, so you only had to get the printed things, which was fine, which was great, because then when we got home and made our giant photo album and scrapbook, it was easy. We didn't have to go to, you know, your local pharmacy store and get everything printed out. But the digital thing is definitely worth it, because then,
Right.
now, do they do like what the Disney PhotoPass does when you get home? Is it linked to like the same website where you can like put the borders on it and?
Not at all.
Oh,
In
really?
fact,
Oh, wow.
customer service once you've departed is sketchy at best.
Oh, okay. So it's just kind of just
Get
pictures.
I highly recommend, if you've got a laptop, when you get that USB drive, put that in your laptop before you get off the ship. Because if there are problems with your photos not being on that thumb drive, it is far better to discover that on board than once you have left the ship. Customer service on the backside, you might get a response, you might not. I had a problem where when I was looking for a photo that I thought was in my printed package once, and it wasn't there, and I didn't have a digital copy of this particular one, because not all the it's an imperfect system.
Right.
It's sometimes it's relying on facial recognition, other times they do scan your key to the world card. It's an imperfect system. You will go, okay, I know I took a picture with Donald Duck. Why is there no picture of me with Donald Duck anywhere in my portfolio? Things like that. So if you can figure that out ahead of time, it's always better. So it's good to take a little time and look through your digital file on board. Look through your printed pictures before you get off the ship.
Definitely.
Because it is not like using Disney's PhotoPass service, because this is actually through a third-party vendor.
Oh.
And it's not by Disney. It's a company called mycruisephotos.com.
Mm-hmm.
They actually, I believe they do Carnival, and maybe Royal Caribbean is the other line they do as well. But they do other cruise lines, and I wish they would integrate PhotoPass type technology. But
yeah, I'm surprised that they don't integrate it within the My Disney Experience app, at least for... I know you don't need... Do you need Magic Bands aboard the ships now?
No.
Okay.
No, they're only... In the Magic Bands, the kids clubs have wristbands.
Right.
Do look like Magic Bands. They look like a Magic Band. They quack like a Magic Band. In fact, you can activate them at Walt Disney World to be Magic Bands, but they are not Magic Bands on the ship.
Okay, I got you.
They're only activated once the child is actually in the Oceaneer Club or Oceaneer Lab.
Okay, so they still use the
key to the world cards.
The regular old cards for your room key and your charging and things like that.
Alas, yes.
Okay. No, I was just wondering, because I know they've, like I said, it's been 14, 15 years since I've been on the last one, so I know there've been tons of upgrades.
I wish. And we thought that maybe the Wonder was going to integrate them, because when the Wonder went through her dry dock not that long ago, we saw crew members. People had taken pictures, crew members had taken pictures, and they ended up online of crew members. You could see them wearing Magic Bands to scan on the ships.
Huh.
We're like, well, wait a minute. Maybe they're going to have that. Nah, that was just how they scanned on and off the ship.
Now, when did I just don't know the timeline of it. When the Dream and the Fantasy came online, were Magic Bands rolled out yet, or was they just before it? Because
No, that was after.
It was after.
What was it?
Because at that time, the Kids Club bands were still kind of this clunky hybrid of zip tie.
Clear-looking thing. Yeah,
it's like a hospital wristband meets a zip tie with
with an RFID chip
collar thing on it. That how dogs have those shock collars.
Yeah.
It's very clunky, and my daughter hated it. Once they moved over to the Magic Band-like technologies, they were bright yellow in the early days. Back in, 2014? I think probably around 2013 is when they probably began using the Magic Band style of wristbands on the cruise ships.
Okay.
They used to be bright yellow, now they're blue. And they have characters, and they're much prettier now than they used to.
Yeah, I can imagine.
They're actually cool looking now. But unfortunately, no Magic Band technology on the ships yet, though the mechanisms are in place to make it happen. So hopefully soon they'll make it happen, because I don't like, when you're swimming or, whatever, I don't like leaving my key to the world card laying around.
Yeah. Nobody does, yeah. So
I'm hoping that'll come on board soon. So I know we've kind of gotten a little off topic off the dining, but yeah.
Okay.
That's fine.
Well,
I can talk Disney Cruise Line for hours.
Well, I can reel it back into dining, because I just wanted to touch on something else that I don't know if we've talked about on here at all. I know Milford and Melanie have cruised quite a bit more than I have, and Crystal as well. So I know they've probably experienced this a lot as well. Or I'm wondering for Milford, who's not been there with kids, to my knowledge. Actually, neither was I on my first one, because it was our honeymoon. But with the servers that follow you along, that I remember the first time they explained that to us, and when it, watching it happen from the different restaurants, it just blew my mind. And besides the fact that they came with you, it just fascinated me how they just remembered things, like what Melanie said. Like I wasn't a wine drinker at the time, so we didn't have like a wine package, but I did either have a cocktail or a beer every night with dinner, and she would just ask me, what will it be tonight? RJ, would you like your cocktail or would you like your beer with the appetizers or whatever? And it just blew my mind. And I think after the second night, I usually always had the cocktail first and then had the beer with dinner. It would just be at the table, like you said, with your Diet Coke. And it was just insane. And the things they remembered that you liked the best, they would either have that, maybe a small plate of it the next night, for your appetizer or something. It was just,
Absolutely.
It was just insane. But beyond that part of it, the interaction. Now, I'm sure every team is different. I don't know the two
Right.
that we
Yeah,
had, I can't remember their names. I remember the woman's name. Her name was Dorothy. That wasn't her real name, but that's what they called her. Oh, I know, because the partner's name, it was a male and a female. She was I don't know what you would call it. He was the main waiter, and she was, I guess, the assistant.
She was the server, and she was the assistant server.
Right. They called her Dorothy because his name was Toto. He was from the Philippines, and she was Haitian. So that's like the relationship they had together. So he was Toto and she was Dorothy. They were fantastic because the chemistry they had together. But then
that matters.
But then at the table, they always had cool little, like, not magic tricks, and for some reason I was always the one that did them. Like, she would bring out like a pile of crayons and spell out like, put the number 600 or something like that. And, okay, move two of them and make it into this number or something like that. And then
Absolutely.
I remember her doing magic tricks with like the upside down wine glasses, not like a 3-card Monty thing, like some other weird. There's pictures of me doing it because that was great with the photo package as well. And I just, I don't know,
They can do like origami with the kids.
It's
menus.
ridiculous, yeah. Like I can't wait till I can go with my kids again,
Absolutely.
just for the. It's just like we talk about with experiences in the parks. It's not gone on the cruise line, and the dining, to me, is like the focal point of it because that's where one of the many times where you're sitting for a longer period of time, unless, like Melanie says, you're hanging out by the pool and there's always stuff going on out there. But when you're dining, that's like. It really is like it's like another experience part of the ship, and like
it really is, because one of the great things my family loves with Disney Cruise Line is the fact that, sorry guys, is that we never see each other all day long.
No, for real.
Everybody has something to do just for them. The teenagers, the younger kids, mom and dad. We all have something that we, for us. But dinner time is when we come together, and those servers and assistant servers, they are the heart of dining on Disney Cruise Line. It's the food is good, the dining rooms are beautiful, the decor is amazing, especially over an animator's palette. The decor is fantastic, but it's all about the crew members. And if you've got a good serving team that work together like that, it makes all the difference. For my family reunion cruise, we had 30 of us, so we had 2 tables.
Wow.
Each table had its own server and assistant server. And what was funny is that because there were 30 of us, we would just flip-flop where we sat every night. So you never knew, or they never knew really, which table we were going to sit at.
Yeah. Testing their knowledge.
We really did. And Caroline on the Disney Magic, she was one of our servers. She was fantastic with knowing who was where, and you were assigned to this table kind of just for dining rotation purposes, but we would always flip, and she's like, oh, you're from there, and they would know. And what was even better is, I don't even know how many kids we had. I would say half of us were kids, or kids at heart, but for the little ones, they would have little kids cups with their names already written on them, waiting for them at the table. So the kids always had a drink. They never had to wait for their drink. There was one time at lunch where one of our assistant servers was serving us at lunchtime, and he made this little animal origami thing for my cousin's daughter because she was getting a little fidgety waiting for her tray to come. And he made her this little origami thing and stuck it on the end of a pencil to make the little animal kind of gallop. These servers are phenomenal. They're either trained really well, or they just have this heart of service for families, because they do things that they don't even have to. They don't have to come to your table with crayons and do mind tricks with you. They don't have to do that.
No.
But it's fun.
Oh, I had a blast.
And when you get that great serving team, it makes all the difference. And
Yep.
it makes you want to come back every night.
Yeah. Yeah, we didn't skip any meals except for the one night we went to the Apollo dinner. But I think after Apollo dinner, I think we might have even went into our rotation because we did like an early dinner and we sat at the later seating. Oh, maybe you could touch on that too. I'll finish and then yeah, and I think we went back for dessert at the just to see, because it's like you get to know these people, and especially when you're on a 7-day cruise, and by the end of it, it's like you've made literally friends with hopefully the people at your table. Right. And I know we've touched on that on other episodes, but definitely with specific crew members, especially if you go and hang out in the nightclubs. I know we're not talking about all that stuff today, but it just spews everywhere on the ship between the dining and and beyond the servers and the assistant servers. I remember I'm forgetting the tiering of it, but there's a fellow that's in charge of either that whole entire dining room or a certain...
That's the head server.
The head server. I remember him coming out, not every night, but I did meet him and shake his hand a couple nights. Same thing like if the chef comes out at his restaurant. But just...
Absolutely. They are in charge of everything that goes on as far as guest experiences in that dining room. That's the head server.
Yeah, but this dude was awesome.
He knows everything. Mm-hmm.
So what I wanted to say is there's two different times you can come and eat. So I mentioned that, just to explain about that, because I don't know that I remember all the ins and outs of it.
Main dining and late dining. So the main dining is the earlier seating, and that's usually at 5:45 local time. So if you flip-flop time zones while you're on board, it'll be 5:45 p.m. local time, and all of the ship's clocks will sync up every day automatically for you. But at 5:45 is your first dining. And then 8:15 is late dining or second dining.
Do the late dining.
I recommend, unless you have little bitties.
Yeah.
And I mean small ones, like 8 and under. I usually do recommend the second dining because you don't really want to have to ditch your afternoon activities to go and get ready for dinner. Because even if you're not dressing up, even if you're cruise casual, you're still going to want to kind of clean up. If you've been at the pool or if you've been at a beach, at a port, at one of the ports of call, you're going to want to clean up before you eat. You just are. And if you have a 5:45 dining time, that usually means stopping what you're doing around 4:30 at the latest. And sometimes that's a great time to be at the pool. The crowds have started to wane a little bit, and you don't really just want to drop everything and go and get ready for dinner. So unless you have little ones, I do really recommend that second dining. The second dining is at 8:15. Usually that means you will probably be having, dessert or coffee service around 9:30, 9:45. So it is a full service dining. You're going to be in there for about an hour and a half. And if you really like your servers and the people you're dining with, you could be in there for 2 hours having a good time. And that's okay, especially if you're at late dining. You don't really feel rushed to get out of there. We've been known to close down a dining room. Now,
I've sometimes been sitting in there till 11 o'clock at night.
I know, right?
Because we're just hanging out with the servers.
Yeah, definitely.
So each night Disney Cruise Line has either a Broadway-style show or some main entertainment going on in the Walt Disney Theater. And if you have early dining, then you'll go to the second show. So, and then it flip-flops. You'll go to the first show if you have late dining. I prefer, it's called dinner and a show, but I actually prefer the show and a dinner. Because if I'm eating a big old meal, I've been known to nod off during the shows. It's not the show's fault. The show's probably really good, but after a big old meal with maybe a drink or two, I'm going to be a little sleepy. So I prefer to go to my show and then have the later dining. I've done the early dining as well, and it's fine. It's nice, but I think personally I prefer the later. But that's a personal preference thing. Some people just don't like eating that late, especially Americans. We tend to be earlier eaters. We like to be eating by the 6 o'clock, 6:30 hour. That's pretty standard for us. So I understand the appeal for the early dinner time, but it's a personal preference. There's no wrong answer there. unless you have small kids who need to be in bed by 9. And if your kids do need to be in bed by 9, by all means, go for that early dining. Honor your kids' bedtime, because you don't want cranky. Kids are already off schedule enough on vacation. Getting them off schedule with eating and things like that, it's really hard. And if you find that the dining times either just aren't working for you, your kids are cranky, or your kids can't handle dining with all of that, going on around them. I mean, these dining rooms are really large. They're big spaces. And your kids just aren't warming up to that. Room service is fantastic. You can get, you either order room service. I've seen families even order appetizers at the table and order their entrees to go, and their servers will have their meals sent to your staterooms.
Yep.
So you can have, a small portion of your dinner time at the dining room, and if your kids just are fidgeting, or you have, a child who has ADHD or ADD issues, and Disney is accommodating with all of that, and the servers are wonderful. And while we're speaking of accommodations, if you've got dietary needs, whether it's just a dietary preference or a straight up allergy, anything, whether, it does not matter. Disney Cruise Line wants you to have a good experience dining with them. So they have a special services number where you can call them ahead of time and speak with a member of the dining services team and let them know what type of dietary issues you have. Now, they don't have a separate galley for food preparation for people with allergies. They can't, 1000% say that there's no cross-contamination on anything, but they do such a good job of accommodating.
Definitely, no, without a doubt.
Needs. We have a few diabetics in our family, and they made sure that all of their meals had, different, carb options and things like that for them. So they really do everything they can to make your dining experience fit your family's needs. In my family, my immediate family, when it comes to cruising, we just really like to eat a lot. My problem is never what it is. It's always pacing, because the first couple of days you see all of that food and you just want to eat everything. It's right there. It's in front of you, and it's good. And by day 4, sometimes day 5, I'm like, I can't even look at food. And then by the end of the cruise, they think that I don't like the food. And I'm like, I love the food. I just can't eat anymore. I've been eating nonstop for a week. I cannot eat anymore. So by the time it's time for the disembarkation breakfast, sometimes I just skip it. I can't even look at food. Just can't.
Yeah, it's ridiculous the amount that there is at any given time of the day or night.
And at the coffee shops, even where there are the baristas at the coffee shops, the premium coffee is not free. It's maybe a smidgen more expensive than a Starbucks. It's not, the price at the coffee bars is not outrageous, but they do have the little dessert stands in there, and those are complimentary. Those are included in the fare of your cruise. So they have the dessert trays in the coffee shops. Obviously, the ice cream, the unlimited ice cream. Oh my goodness.
And if you're going to frequent the coffee shop, make sure you get the buy 5, get 1 free card.
Yes. I heard a rumor that they were going to make them cruise specific. Because in past, if you had 3, say you only had 3 stamps on your card, when you came back the next time, you could do stamps 4 and 5. I heard now that they're thinking about making it cruise specific so that they don't carry it over. But I'll have to look into that.
That'd be interesting, because I know I used mine in June, and I had 3 stamps going into that cruise.
I know. So I've always carried over. I keep, I have a lanyard that I take on all my cruises. It's that one with the wallet. I never use my Castaway Club lanyards. I use the one, you can buy it at the gift shop on board. It's the lanyard with the wallet attached to it instead of the pouch. It's the actual Velcro wallet. I love it. And that's where I always keep my card so that I have it every time I cruise.
Yeah.
I think about it.
Well, and that's like my mug card for my beer. I never take a mug home.
Yeah.
I take the token home and take the token back the next cruise.
We took the mugs home because my son likes them.
I did the first cruise, but I do have one here. But
Yeah, we've got two from our last. We had, my sister, so sweet, had given us the it was from our cruise in January, actually, not our last one, but our cruise last January, and she had sent those to our stateroom. It was really sweet. So we had gotten the bigger mugs, but yeah, my son really likes them. And the thing with the mugs is it's a 22-ounce mug, and when you refill this, you buy the mug, and when you refill it, you pay the 16-ounce price.
Oh,
So
interesting.
that's the deal with the mugs.
Hmm.
Now, I did measure the amount of liquid that goes into the mugs, and to get 22 ounces, you basically have to fill it to the tippity top.
And no ice, probably.
and they usually do fill it to the tippity top because I always end up spilling it.
So they know how much fits in there.
Cool. All right. Well,
That's dining.
that's dining, and a few extras things. So, thank Melanie for that extended report on that. And while some may not think it's a big deal, it really is, because it does change your experience on the ship. And with knowing, for people who have not cruised before, knowing the different dress codes and how the rotational dining works is definitely a new experience, especially if you're coming from other cruise lines that don't do it. So, and any other information you could possibly want to know on cruising, please head on over to dclprepschool.com or hit up Melanie on any of her social media sites, and she will gladly answer your question and help you along with anything that you will need to know about cruising, without a doubt. So,
Absolutely.
on that note, we're going to wrap up this episode, and we're going to thank everybody for listening. And I hope you enjoyed this little cruise line extra, and we will talk to everybody next time.